What's up, everybody? It's your boy Greek back with the first interview of 2022. And this is a brand new format that I'm trying for it, hence the name and everything. I'm trying to go about it in a more professional way, so to say. I know that having the ski mask on kind of negates that a little bit, but it is what it is, and it's what I do. Now, as you can see here, to my left, we have a very special guest today. One of the heavy hitters inside of not only the Avengers community, but the Lego games community, the Star Wars community, so many communities. My brother, my homie, JayShockBlast. Jay, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing cool. I woke up late. I kind of want a pizza. Pretty much just a normal day for me.
Fair
Just a
enough.
normal day.
Everybody wants pizza when they wake up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So to go ahead and get this interview kicked off, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am from the Boston area. It's where I consider home.
Hmm.
Big old Patriots fan.
Hey,
Amongst every other Boston sports team. I've been doing YouTube now for 11 years. Before that, I was more in the music industry. Excuse me.
that are you there? Are you there?
Yeah, it broke up a little bit.
Yeah, you like freeze frame for a second. I thought it was something. I thought it was something on my end.
Oh, I don't know. But it did freeze on my end too. So,
Okay.
you want me to go back?
What? No, I mean, yeah, you can. You stopped right as you was talking about Boston.
Okay. Um, I'll just start from the beginning.
Okay.
Just ask me the question again.
So, can you tell me and the viewers a little bit about yourself?
So my name's Jay. I go by JayShockBlast. I have been doing content creation for roughly a little over 20 years. From the Boston area. I started off in concert photography, and then as YouTube started to pick up, I kind of shifted into that. I used to do like a lot of heavy metal photography, go to all sorts of shows. Loved it. Hated dealing with publicists because you have to get permission to shoot the artists and everything, and I don't know, it was just tedious. And as YouTube started to pick up, I was like, man, this is fun. This is easy,
Yeah.
and I'm actually like making some money now. Like why like I need to shift into this, and I don't know, it all just kind of happened. I think that's the story for most people is you just kind of do it and things happen and you just roll with it.
I get that. I get that. And so, in terms of like other factors, like your name, like J Shock Blast, to be correct, if I'm right, I believe your brother helped you come up with the name, and it was also based off of no GI Joe called Shockwave.
Yes, that's exactly correct. So I bounced around with different platforms when I was doing my photography, and the problem I always had is I knew nothing about building websites, and it was way harder in the 2000s than it is the 2010s and into the 2020s. Like, you had to build that stuff from scratch. There weren't no website builders or anything like that
Yeah.
back then. So I finally got to a point where I just was tired of having to kind of fight to do what I wanted to do with people that I was basically doing all the work for. So we figured out a way to start our own site. My brother wanted to get involved, and we were thinking about different ideas, and we decided on Shock Blast Media. We started talking about like our favorite GI Joes and Transformers and different characters and trying to base it off of that. And Shockwave is a GI Joe that I always loved growing up, and they ended up renaming him Shock Blast, and we just thought that was cool. So we called ourselves shockblastmedia.com, and because of that, I was like, oh, I'm Jay Shockblast, and you can be Eric Shockblast or whatever it may be, and that's kind of where it all came from. The channel itself was actually called Shockblast Media until like 5 years ago, and then I finally, when I got tired of doing the website, I just said, well, everybody knows me as Jay Shockblast. Why don't I just do Jay Shockblast instead of Shockblast Media? It's just me, and that's it.
I get that. I get that. So the next question. So evidence is to all of the games that are currently sitting behind you on those shelves right now. I can specifically spot the Nintendo cases because they stick out the
Yeah.
most.
Right.
How long have you been into just gaming as a whole?
My dad actually got us our first gaming console like very early, like I'd say 83. You know, in 1983 we had the Intellivision and we had the Atari 2600. And I distinctly remember using birthday money to buy a Nintendo Entertainment System. I bought the one with the power pad, and it had Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt and the Olympics. There's like an Olympics game for the power pad. So I very distinctly remember, saving up money to buy that. And I've always played video games. I would say for a long time I really mostly only played sports games. I was buying the new Madden, NHL, and whatever MLB game there was every year. But I kind of drifted into, the shooter world when I got an Xbox 360. We're living in Jacksonville, Florida, and my roommate rented Call of Duty 3, I want to say. And he was using it on my Xbox 360 and just kind of sat there watching, and then that's when it started to shift from sports games into a little bit of everything. So
Okay.
that's kind of a little bit of my history.
So, August 14th, 2010. Does that day mean anything to you?
It certainly does. That's the day I started my YouTube channel. And I remember it very, very distinctly too. Like I remember like saying like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to like start this YouTube channel. My intention when I started it was to post trailers and have it be on my channel so I could show publicists, hey, look, I posted an article on my website. I used my own link to the trailer and it got this many views. You should take me seriously. And it was a little while before I started like making my own videos. But I eventually got a Halpage PVR is what it was back in the day. And I used that for a couple of years. And then I switched over to Elgato HD. I think this was what it was called, the Elgato HD.
Yeah.
And just started doing my own thing. I had no idea what I was doing. I had a friend that I used to go to his house to record. Like we would record a lot of Battlefield Bad Company videos. And he would record all the video and just give it to me. And then I'd try to figure it out from there.
Yeah.
And it was a mess.
Because I was going to say, the start of your channel, the first video is Battlefield Bad Company 2 specifically. So I was wondering if that was, like a game that you were into from the start, or like you said, that was just more so you getting into the whole trailer aspect, because I know that Battlefield Bad Company was definitely big around that time.
Yeah, I deleted a lot of the stuff that came before that was trailers because I was like, this isn't pertinent anymore.
Yeah.
But Bad Company 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. The people I was playing with at the time were like ridiculously good, and we just found ourselves getting into such nonsense. So I just decided, I want to record videos for this and put it up and share it and just have fun and show it to people on forums and stuff. And some of the people that I played were pro level players. Played with, I should say. One of the guys, he goes by Sir Wallen on YouTube. He's not really an active creator anymore, but he was part of the team that was like one of the first to beat one of the Destiny raids. So I mean, I've always said he's like my favorite YouTuber, even though he doesn't really do it anymore. But like we played like that game religiously. Like I can't even say how many hours I put into that game. So yeah, that's kind of what inspired me to do it. And then I was like, as I figured out how to do things, I'm like, I want to start doing this and this and this, and it just happened,
100%. So the whole idea of making videos, right now, I'm pretty sure you just answered that, but if you can go more into detail, was it something that you always wanted to do, or was it like something that suggested, or like did you pick up on it from watching somebody else make those videos?
It wasn't like, I think I kind of got into YouTube as it was just starting to become a popular thing to do. Like I feel like I'm one of the early adopters in a lot of ways, because it's completely changed over the years, like how it works and everything. I never really thought about it. I have a channel like that it has 8 subscribers. It's like JayMJ99, and I had made a couple videos on there using my concert photography and with the band song playing in the background. But obviously, you can't really do much with that. A lot of them will get blocked and stuff like that. And that was like really what I wanted to do originally, but I knew it wasn't going to really work because the bands, I had to give their permission. I knew I didn't want to go through all that. And I just really just did it for fun. I never expected to make $1 off of this, or much less make it into a career. I just kind of did it, and I didn't really have any expectations whatsoever. And as things got views, it kind of gets addictive, like, oh man, people are watching this.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
You get addicted to that success.
Yeah, a little bit. Never let it get to your head, though.
Absolutely, because then egos form, and we don't.
Yeah, I've seen some people get egos over like, hey, I have 3,000 subscribers. Look at me. I'm like, really, dude? Okay. I mean, good for you. That's awesome. That's a great accomplishment. But like, I don't know, man. I would never treat anybody that way.
Yeah, if you got to brag about it, then I don't know.
Yeah.
Just be humble.
Exactly.
So your channel has seen various shifts in content, going from Battlefield to Borderlands to JayShockBlast media interviews with Clint Lowry and even more. Would you say dipping into those different areas of creation has given you an insight into the content creator world that most other creators, like smaller creators like myself, don't really have or get to experience?
Yes, in a way, because I've watched the waves of how YouTube works. Okay, like they've shifted their focus so much over the years. It used to be, hey, you have to do this. No, they want you to do this. They want you to do this, and it can get confusing. So I never really cared. I just did what I wanted to do. We interviewed Clint from Seven Dust. Seven Dust is my favorite band ever. I've interviewed them a few times. I've seen them 31 times, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. So like they're awesome. I love them so much. Like they're always so good to me. And like to be able to do interviews like that, it was more like something that my brother really wanted to do, and that's what I loved about it. Like having these opportunities to like get my brother to have these things that he could try, and for us to like do those things. I mean, that's a pretty cool thing to do. Interview the guitarist of one of your favorite bands, and we did a few interviews like that. But like YouTube now does not like for you to bounce around from interviewing bands to playing Avengers to playing any other game to like doing unboxing videos. So like I definitely do a lot of things wrong, especially the way that YouTube works now, but it is and always has been and always will be me being me, doing what I love and doing what I enjoy, and just whatever happens.
Yeah, because if you can't be yourself, then who can you be?
What's the point? If you're not like enjoying what you're doing, what's the point?
Absolutely. I get that. I had the same mindset. Well, I ended up evolving into that mindset as content creation go on, because when I first started, that definitely was not the reason I did it. But as I'm older now, I've been doing it for a minute, only like a couple of years. It's evolved into me just doing it simply because I like to do it, and it gives me something. It gives me like different ways to spend my time.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I know that you're an avid collector of items such as statues and games and things worth keeping there, because as we can see, you got the Thor statue behind you. I believe those are a couple of Pikachus up there on the shelf. How did you get into the collection hobby itself?
It's addictive. Like, I don't even know how it happened, to be honest with you. Like, I think when we kind of moved, my brother and I moved to Jacksonville in 2005, and we finally had our own place. It was kind of like we just saw things and we liked. And I used to collect, like, Todd McFarlane made like all these sports figures, and I used to collect all the Boston players that he put out. And then like we started seeing Star Wars figures, and we're like, oh man, these are cool. Let's get them. And I know, like, growing up, my brother loved the wrestling figures. We used to get him all the wrestling figures and stuff. So like, it's just one of those things. It's the collecting is part of it, but it's also the hunt. Like the actual going out and looking for things and trying to find them as they become available is almost as cool as the collecting itself. So that's why I've lately been addicted to Pokemon Go, because you're just going out there looking for different Pokemon, and I'm trying to catch them all, as the slogan goes. And like I love going out looking for shinies and like ones that I don't have yet and stuff like that. It's just there's a part of my brain, the hoarder part of my brain, that's like, oh, I want to have all this cool stuff that I like, that for things that I like,
Yeah.
and it makes me feel good when I go see it. Like I just spent the most I've ever spent on a collectible. I just got a new Darth Revan and Darth Malak statue. I think with tax and shipping, I spent like $2,500 on it. It's ridiculous.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like they're like huge. They're like quarter scale, and they're amazing. And it's just like I look at them and I see them and I'm like, man, that's so cool. I love having it here, just to be able to walk by it and see it and be like, oh, there they are, there it is, And I don't know, it's weird for some people, maybe, I don't know, but I just feel like you only live once, YOLO. So like, why not surround yourself with things that make you feel good, And my wife lets me, so that's even better.
Yeah, that's a good thing, because I won't say why specifically, but I do have one buddy that also likes collecting. I believe the most expensive thing he bought recently was an $800 statue.
Nice.
And his girlfriend completely lost it because he didn't tell her about the purchase, because he knew that she would say no. But I believe it was a DC figure, so I believe it was a
nice.
It was a Red Hood figure.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I don't know what Red Hood figure he paid that much money for it, but he bought it. He had the money for it.
It was a big one, I can tell you that.
Yeah, he enjoyed it. That's all I can say. I'm happy for him.
That's all that matters, right?
Yeah, he got to do what he wanted. So
listen, until you get the ring on, you're never secure. So like, once the ring is on, it's a little easier.
Yep.
My wife is actually like amazing, and she like does not understand any of this, but like I did say something to her before I bought it. I was like, hey, look, I actually sold a bunch of stuff to buy it, because I'm like, they're huge and I didn't know where I was gonna have room for them.
Yeah.
I had all this stuff that I knew I wasn't gonna use, or like didn't really have out anymore, so I sold off a bunch of stuff and I said, hey, look, I'm gonna buy these, I really like them. And she was like, all right, that's cool, your money. So
well, shout out to Mrs. JayShockBlast.
Yeah.
Now the next question we have here. So I know that price definitely was just a topic of conversation here. Which item in your collection would you say has the most value to it, personal or otherwise?
It's a good question. I mean, obviously the two statues I just got, are pretty expensive, price value wise. So that's awesome. I have some of my dad's Marine Corps stuff that like the value to it is very personal. And so I mean, I would say those are items I have out on display that just mean a lot to me. Otherwise, it's really just the memories you make with it. I met Rob Liefeld a couple months ago, the creator of Deadpool, and I had him sign a Funko Pop. And, that one is really cool to me. Just little things like that. I met the actress Katie Sackhoff that played Bo-Katan in Star Wars. And, I had her sign a Funko Pop. And, just a Ron Perlman. Like, I've been having, like, that's my new addiction right now, is getting Funko Pop signed. I also have a Patriots helmet signed by Rodney Harrison, who is my favorite player of all time. He was on the first Super Bowl champion Patriot teams. And I got to meet him, shake his hand, and like get this little helmet signed. So that one is also pretty special to me. But I mean, they all have stories, but those ones really stand out.
And how long ago did you get that helmet specifically?
It was literally a couple weeks before the Patriots won the Super Bowl against the Eagles in Jacksonville. So it was January of 2005, because we did that, and then like a week later drove to Jacksonville, and because my dad lived in Jacksonville and we were moving there just to try something different. And I could have gone to the Super Bowl if I had gotten there like a week earlier. I was so mad about that. But yeah, so it's pretty old. I mean, he's been retired for quite a while now.
Okay, so next question. Now, when do you feel like your channel started to like really take off? Was this something that you saw yourself doing for, well, yeah, was this something that you feel like you saw yourself doing for the following years to come, or did it all just happen? Because I know, but way back when you posted your first video, the very first video actually had a lot of views, and it seemed like you've been able to maintain that throughout a majority of the stuff that you did. But again, I would like to know, would there be a difference between just that video performing well entirely to the moment where your channel just like shot straight into space?
It was a slow process. I definitely I was posting a lot of the Battlefield, videos on different Battlefield message boards and stuff like that, because we would play competitively and stuff, and we would just do nonsense that launching ATVs and stuff like that. So like I would get views that way, and I don't know exactly when. I know when like the real explosion happened, and that was for Lego Marvel Superheroes, right before the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 came out. Like that game is what really kind of catapulted me. But there had been a little bit of a build up until that point. I had been successful with other Star Wars games, but the first real video to explode for me was the Amazing Spider-Man. My brother and I did a video where we showed how to unlock all the suits early with a little bit of time travel cheese. Don't know anything about time travel cheese. Yeah, we it was one of the worst videos I've ever made. I had a meteor mic is what it was called, and it was like this little mic that sat on the table and listened to everything in outer space. It could hear anything anywhere.
So it picked up more than a snowball, which I thought was impossible.
Way more. Like it was the worst microphone ever. But I had no idea what I was doing. So we positioned it between each other, right next to my Xbox 360. And I don't know, like what your history is with consoles, but the Xbox 360, when you did not install the game to the hard drive, the disc would just spin like nonstop, and it would just be constantly reading the information, which makes sense. I did not realize how loud it was until I put the microphone in front of it and recorded that video. So if you go back and listen to that video it has like this light whirring sound in the background for the entire video. The audio is like a second or two off. It's the first video I ever tried to do this on, and I didn't have software that just recorded your voice with the video because I was still on the Halpage at that point, or however that's pronounced. I still don't know. But it's over 5 million views, so that was the first video that I was like, whoa, Yeah. But then Lego Marvel Superheroes definitely was, I think, for a lot of people, how they found me early on.
Okay, I mean, I can say this. I've never really encountered that with the Xbox specifically, but I can tell you this: for years, all of my fellow PlayStation brothers know exactly what I'm about to mention. I've had to deal with my system in the background of my video sounding like it was getting ready to go into Mod 10. So
I have a video right when I got my first PS4 Pro. I put in Battlefield 4, and I have a video. It's got like 100,000 views where I'm like, it sounds like a jet is taking off, and it was just this. Are we better?
We could.
All right. Yeah, I ended up like swapping it out and didn't really have that problem ever again. But I mean, yeah, it was like that a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah, trust me, I know the feeling. I 100% know the feeling. So, the Lego games. Now, they've become, I want to say more than a big part. They've become a major part of your channel. Which, out of all of the Lego games that you've touched and put onto the channel, which one would you say is your favorite?
That's such a hard question. Every time I get asked this question a lot, by the way. I've finally settled on Lego Dimensions. because Lego Dimensions is a little bit of everything. You know, you've got the DC characters, you've got Scooby-Doo, you know, you've got Lord of the Rings, you've got Adventure Time. That was their first time doing like a multiverse kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I love that aspect of it, just having all these smaller levels and smaller franchises that they could just give us a little taste of in a Lego game that could never really have a full Lego game. You know, like Portal and Fantastic Beasts was in it. Sonic the Hedgehog, that one was really good. There's just lots of really cool stuff that, like, the Goonies, like, who'd ever had a Lego Goonies game, you know? But, you know, you have a Lego A-Team mission, you know, and stuff like that. So I just loved and appreciate that. I did not like having to get all the toys, although about a third of the way into it, I no longer had to buy them because they would just send them to me. So I guess it wasn't that bad. But I didn't love having all the toys everywhere because you had to like put them on a little portal and stuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, the Lego Marvel games, the Lego DC games, I just love playing the comic book games, you know? And I know a lot of people associate Lego with kids, but like, honestly, like if you just let yourself go for just a minute and just put the game in, they're fun. They're just fun little games, and you know, you're enjoying characters that you love. It's not, I don't get too deep with it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I can't pull it up on screen because I don't want to mess up anything that I have on going here. I was literally playing Lego Marvel's Avengers last night. Like I won't even say last night because
Nice.
I've been up this whole time. I was playing it earlier this morning.
They're fun games, man. Like
Yes, they are.
it's just who cares? Just have fun, play video games, you know?
Yeah, this like Marvel's Lego Marvel Superheroes 1 and 2, Lego Avengers, Lego, I believe it was the first. No, I believe it was the second Lego Batman where you got to run around.
Yeah.
Open world Gotham with everybody. You had that. You had the Lego Star Wars games from, I believe it was the Luke saga.
Yeah, it was Clone Wars is the one I think I started with. I think that was the first Lego game I played on my channel was Lego Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Yeah, regardless of what anyone says, Lego games are games that I can honestly say I enjoy. I do have to be in like a certain kind of mood to play them. But I do definitely enjoy them. It would be a lot better if they added online if they added online multiplayer to these Lego games, because then definitely a lot you can do.
I think everybody that has said that for years is going to be very happy when Lego Star Wars finally comes out.
I will buy Lego Star Wars if that gets multiplayer. I will actually buy it.
From what I understand, I know some people. From what I understand, I believe that's the case.
Special scoop. We got a special scoop from JayShockBlast.
Yeah.
If you like Lego games, then this is for you. This is for you.
I believe that's the case. I'm 97% sure that there's going to be some form of online. Because here's the thing, and I've talked to some of the guys that worked on the game, very specifically about that, and their idea of what gaming should be is couch co-op. They want you to just sit on the couch, with your friends, with your family, and play the game. And I think COVID especially has proven how that's not always possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do believe that they are doing that with this game. This game has a brand new engine. It's 100% new from the ground up. So that's why it's taken so long. And hopefully we're just a couple months away.
Absolutely. Now, do you know what question is going to come next? It is Lego related.
I don't. I probably should, but I don't.
Which Lego game is your least favorite?
Oh, that's okay. That makes sense. I don't have a least favorite, because I like them all. I'm not a big Lord of the Rings or Hobbit fan, so I probably didn't enjoy or Harry Potter, so I probably didn't enjoy those ones as much because I didn't understand really what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably say those, but it's not because they're bad. It's just because they're not Like, I'll play anything that they make for Lego. They can make freaking Lego Goku and the Attack on Titans with the Straw Hats.
Those would sell.
Sorry,
Those would sell
I,
wonderfully. Those would
I mean,
absolutely sell.
they would, but like, I don't obviously very clearly in my description of that, don't have any idea what I'm talking about, but I'd still play it
Yeah.
and intentionally get all the names wrong, the whole game. But yeah, like I love them as a studio, TT Games, and I love the style of game. So, and it's successful for me, so I'm gonna play it. You know, no matter what they put out, even if it's they can make a Lego Scroll Girl game, and if anybody knows my history with her, I'd play it. So,
Squirrel Girl makes me sad, and that was like this is off topic, but that's specifically because there was a new Warriors TV show. I'm pretty sure you know about it. Got I don't want to talk about it here, but it got canceled due to reasons, and the show actually looked very decent. Like it was.
I talk about that often actually because you saw who they cast as Squirrel Girl in that, right?
Yes.
Smoke Show. Is Lily from AT&T. I don't know how I was going to be able to cope with that.
This is why I like Jay. This is why I like Jay, everybody. This is why I love this man.
I did not know how I was going to be able to cope with that because she is a smoke show and Squirrel Girl is not supposed to be that hot. And I was going to have a really, really hard time with that. But it got canceled, so I'm okay with it. So.
It's funny because he's not wrong. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next question.
All right.
So, now you're a heavyweight in the Avengers community, 100%. But Avengers was not your first major step into superhero gaming content. I know that you got from games like Lego Marvel Superheroes and Marvel Heroes Omega and such. Do you feel like if any of the past superhero games were still up and running, do you believe you would be spending more time on those games than you do on Marvel's Avengers?
Absolutely. If Marvel Heroes Omega was still going, I listen, I play Marvel Avengers because I like it, but like I only play it when I'm streaming. Like I'm not out there grinding off stream, you know? Like I like the game. I love the game actually. I've enjoyed the game. I wish it had, you know, more content like everybody else. But like I think they've actually benefited from the last year of not really having much competition. You know, Guardians came out and, you know, everybody did their playthrough or two of that. And then it was right back to Avengers, you know? They're in some trouble this year because what do we got? We've got from Marvel, Midnight Suns. We've got Gotham Knights. We've got Suicide Squad. And I'm probably leaving out another superhero game or two. Like
I believe those are the only...
The major ones, anyway.
Well, in terms of the ones that we have, like, I won't say a release date, but a release window for.
Right.
Those are the only three this year because you have the unannounced
Spider-Man and Wolverine.
Spider-Man and Wolverine. The other unannounced DC game that's still in the works. Wonder Woman, the new Marvel MMORPG that's being held up by the same person that worked on City of Heroes and DC Universe Online. And the Marvel game by Second Dinner, the one by Daybreak, and I believe there's another one that I can't quite remember. So like, and we only really have three, but the next 3 to 4 years should definitely be chocked up full with Marvel and DC games.
But in the very immediate future, though, they're going to start running into problems when these games start coming out because they haven't had any real competition since they released in the superhero community.
Yeah.
Now you're going to have Gotham Knights coming out, a game that's going to be not the same, but a sort of similar format where you can play with people online and you can, you know, go collect gear and stuff like that and constantly play and level and all that. And, you know, that's going to be the first time that like maybe people are going to have a harder time coming back to Avengers without anything new to do. So it's going to be interesting to see. So it's the pros and cons of the whole COVID stretch for them is that they had that opportunity to kind of run a little unopposed. And I don't know that they did a good enough job taking advantage of it, but we'll see. Hopefully with the future content, they're able to keep people interested. I know that like if Marvel Heroes was still around and pumping out the content the way that they did, I would still be playing that a ton. I would always find time for it though. Like I'd find a way to work it in. I'd actually probably play less Fortnite.
I've been playing a lot of Fortnite recently too.
Yeah, it's not my favorite game ever, but I love the collaborations, and that's what keeps me coming back. To be able to run around as Boba Fett with Spider-Man and Wonder Woman and the Predator, like, come on, that's freaking cool.
That's like the closest we're ever gonna get to being inside the world of Ready Player One.
Right, exactly. So I that's really what draws me back to Fortnite. It's a fun enough game, but like the collaboration and creator code JayShockBlast definitely keeps me coming back.
Okay. Now,
shameless self promo.
Now, if you've had the choice to bring back one superhero game with all new content, DLC, and continued support, which game would that be and why?
Marvel Heroes for sure. I love that game so much. I put in an ungodly amount of time on PC, which I don't love playing games on PC. And then it finally came to consoles, and I thought it was just a lot of fun. And I loved they were constantly adding characters. It's certainly easier to add content and characters to a game like that than it is Avengers. But like, I just hate that they fell apart the way that they did. They were great. I loved working with them. I just loved playing their game. And it was real sad that a lot of behind the scenes nonsense really kind of did them in. And we've all kind of felt it since then, because that game like had the potential to just go forever. You know, like the Old Republic. You know, like that game feels like it's been going forever, and nobody gets sick of it. So that would be the one. That would definitely be the one.
Okay. So, based off your initial take and reaction to Avengers from when it was first shown off, like way back at E3, compared to where we are now, a year and a half later, what would you say are the biggest differences in your mindset between then and now concerning the game?
I thought that they would be able to put out content faster. I think that's the biggest thing that sticks out to me. I thought that there would just be more. And I don't know why there isn't. I mean, we've heard about Skeleton Crews, which is unfortunate. I don't know what happened. I had heard a lot of stuff behind the scenes before the game was out that it was not the easiest game to develop.
Yeah.
That there were a lot of issues leading up to it. So like, I'm happy with what we got. I think the sign of any game that you love is that you just want more. And I'm a little shocked at what they put out, how little, like how few bosses you get to fight, you know, and just I kind of, and maybe this is on me, but I thought we were gonna get like a new character monthly or bi-monthly at least, you know.
I did too. Because like my initial prediction was that we would get a hero at least once every 2 at the most 3 months.
I thought every 6 to 8 weeks, to be honest with you, you know, like I thought that we were going to get new content like that. I understand, like I've been to NetherRealm Studios where they make Mortal Kombat, and I've seen their capture situation. Like it's huge. Like there's a lot that goes into capturing, like motion capturing.
Yeah.
So I understand that there were some limitations because of COVID and stuff like that. And I've heard Andy talk about how, you know, they have to quarantine. They, at least at the time, you know, you had to quarantine for 2 weeks, and then you could go into the studio and do the stuff. So like it sounds like it was a hassle. I don't know what happened. I think we would all just like to see more content. And I know that I don't know how their engine works, but like it seems like there's lots of games that can just like render new scenarios like on their own. Like you think of like Minecraft it's Minecraft development and Avengers development, completely different ball field. But as a for instance, you start a new biome and you have a new procedurally generated world. And I guess there's just not a way to procedurally generate, you know, different rooms and scenarios in Avengers, because like honestly, if you could just rework the same walls and stuff like that into, different mazes or whatever to go through. I think a lot of us would have been fine with that and just stick someone at the end for us to punch in the face. But I don't know. I think that's kind of what I expected, but has not quite worked out that way.
So, how do you feel about the chances of us seeing a possible year 3 for the game?
I believe we're gonna get it. I believe we'll get it. I think I really think that it will get there.
Yeah.
Obviously, the battle is going to be how does it hold up against Gotham Knights? How does it hold up against Midnight Suns? How does it hold up against Suicide Squad? If they put out good content people want to play, they're going to keep coming back. I think people have stuck with this game for almost 500 days now, still playing it every day with the same thing to do practically since launch. And I think that shows you the passion's there. It just needs that next big, Kree invasion, It just needs those new characters, and everybody gets excited when that comes out. Black Panther came out, and I thought that was the turning point. But then they just couldn't keep the heat on,
Yeah, because I know according to Miller, shout out to Miller if you're watching this shit, wonderful Canadian bastard. We're going to get the Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to her, at least. It's what's after her. What's after hers was very questionable.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm nervous for that. I don't love hearing that, but we'll see. I hope we get a year 3. I think
I do too.
I'm naturally optimistic, so I think we will.
So, looking forward towards the future. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. Your favorite game.
You're wrong.
Your favorite game is of all time, still currently, I'm assuming, it's Knights of the Old Republic.
Absolutely.
Can we expect some massive content from you once the remake drops on PlayStation 5? And I also would like to add in, because I do want to know your thoughts on this, in terms of the Knights of the Old Republic, the combat is changing from how it used to be to more of like a God of War Mad Max style combat. How do you feel about all of those things?
So you are right. Knights of the Old Republic is in fact my favorite game of all time, as evident by the fact that I just spent as much money as I did on a statue of Revan and Malak, and I'm very excited about them. So that game, for someone your age that didn't maybe play it growing up when it came out, because you were probably like 5, it's dated. Okay, to go into that game now with how gaming has evolved, it's hard. It's not an easy game to go back and play. I love it for how I experienced it when it was out. I know it's not like it doesn't play as well today. So I think the changes they're going to make are very necessary. I'm very excited about them. I'm not at liberty to discuss anything that I know beyond that, because I might have some inside information on that one. But what I've heard is what I want. I want to play Knights of the Old Republic in a Jedi Fallen Order kind of way.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. I just want them to keep the story as it was, retell the same story, just with upgraded graphics, kind of like Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is what I think is what they're going for.
You wouldn't want you wouldn't want them to add on you wouldn't want them to continue the story if possible?
Well, the problem is that they've already kind of continued the story because there was a Revan book that came out, and it was part of the Old Republic, which I do believe is not canon. So if they are going to, I think that's actually their goal. I'm saying too much. I would if they can continue the story and retcon everything that they've done after the first 2 games came out, that would be a dream, because I did not enjoy the path they took to get there. It felt like shoehorned so that they could, do the Old Republic on their own. You know what I mean? So I would absolutely love it if it's very successful. It does what I think it's supposed to do, and I think people are gonna fall in love with the character just the same way that I did, because the story is amazing. Like, it's honestly, like, I still remember the moment when the big reveal happened, and how I felt so dumb for not seeing it coming. Like, it hit me so perfect. Like, it's one of those, like, not, you didn't get spoiled by the story. You didn't even pick up on all the clues that you are who you are, and it just was like, whoa, I can't believe it. That's amazing. And that's why I love the characters so much, you know, because just the way I felt when I went through that story. So yeah, I'm thrilled for this game. I will absolutely be playing. I will get as much out of the game as I can, both in videos and stream. Absolutely.
Well, I do. I mean, not lie. I do love Star Wars to a certain extent. I do not like the new trilogy. I used to. It kind of flipped after I found out about what happened to Finn. Pretty sure everybody knows what happened to Finn at this point.
Oh, you mean how they like changed things as it went?
No, yeah, how they just completely retconned the original storyline that they had for him.
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
honestly, coming from like a comic and anime background, I thought would have been a much better story for him, because it's kind of like his role got smaller as the movies went on, and I absolutely did not like that.
I agree. I have a hot toy for Finn, so like I liked them for what they were. I mean, but I do understand that completely. It does feel like they kind of like you can see in the movie where it like hit a wall, and like all of a sudden it was like, okay, well, he's just a background character now, you know,
Which
sucks.
I love Star Wars. I still play Battlefront 2. My best character might be Han Solo. Specifically because
Hard to argue with that.
I just hang back and hit everybody with the thermal detonator. That sends them far. I'm definitely gonna be picking that up, because I tried to play the Old Republic with High Ruler, I believe.
Okay.
I spent some time on it for about a day, and it was just I didn't want to play it anymore. I didn't want to play it anymore. Like, it was just like, I don't want to say it felt like it was too much, but something didn't feel right.
I hear you. I mean, that game is 10 years old at this point, and I mean, almost maybe 9 or 10 years old. And I bought my first gaming PC to play that game, and I played it a lot when it came out, and then I hit a wall in it too, because I'm not a big PC gamer. I would prefer to play on a console with a controller in my hand. And if that game ever just got controller support, I would have gone back in a heartbeat. But every time I've tried to go back, trying to relearn it, I couldn't do it. And I wanted to bad. But, yeah. So I'm looking forward to people, a whole new generation, getting a fresh look at Revan and Malak and Bastila and Canderous and, like, HK-47. Oh, my God. HK-47 is the best Star Wars droid of all time. And you meatbags are going to find out why. Let's just say that.
Okay, I believe you. I take your word for it. And speaking of characters, so obviously you spend a lot of time on Knights of the Old Republic. Which is the best class, in your opinion? And which class did you play the most?
Oh my goodness. I always just played Jedi Counselor, I believe. Oh, you mean the Old Republic?
No,
or KOTOR?
KOTOR.
I think I played Counselor the most. I always just played like as just a straight up Jedi, you know. And I did a playthrough. I never played as like a smuggler or anything like that. You're a Jedi. You got to play as a Jedi, you know. I did do like a light side and a dark side playthrough where I did all the dark side answers and all the light side, you know, just to kind of get a little bit of everything. But I didn't go that deep into it. I just really wanted to be a Jedi, you know what I mean?
Understandable.
I know, I think there's a Sentinel as well, but I'm always more of like a Jedi magician, you know, more than a swordsman, if you will.
I would probably go for a Jedi Knight, but if I cannot have an orange lightsaber, I would probably go Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, see, the best thing about Knights of the Old Republic was there was a silver crystal you could find, and I always loved rocking the silver crystal because it was like really hard to get.
I have a question actually. So I specifically remember this from an old show. I'm pretty sure you might have watched and finished it. Star Wars Rebels. Sabine's lightsaber,
Okay.
the dark saber.
Yeah. Yep. The dark saber.
Was that crystal in KOTOR by any chance?
No.
It's not. Oh,
No. There's no black crystal. Just silver.
they should add a black crystal in the remake.
Maybe they will. Maybe they will.
They definitely should. So next question. So Midnight Suns.
Yeah. Sponsored by them.
Congratulations on the sponsorship, by the way. Another superhero game on the way. What are your overall thoughts on Midnight Suns as of right now?
Very, very interested. Obviously, I'm pretty involved. It was really cool to be able to get the sponsorship opportunity. I always want to make sure I disclose that before I give my opinion, because I have been paid some money. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure people know. I understand a lot of people are concerned about the card playing aspect of it, and to an extent, I am too. But it looks fun. It looks different. And I love the characters that they've chosen. They've got some traditional, popular characters, and then they mixed in, some characters that don't necessarily always get their opportunity.
Like Nico.
Like Nico, and I think we've seen Blade a little bit more lately, but Blade and the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, like those are some characters you don't necessarily get in these AAA games.
Yeah.
So for them to be playable the way that they're going to be is really awesome. So I'm really looking forward to all that. I think it's going to be a really good game. I was never a big into what is it? Oh my gosh, tip of the tongue. The games the studio made before with the XCOM.
XCOM. Yeah.
I was never really into XCOM, but I don't think this is purely XCOM. So I think people, look, you don't have to go buy it the day it comes out, all right? But maybe once it goes on sale, give it a chance. Maybe they'll do a free weekend or something. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think they're going to support it for a while.
I can say this about Midnight Suns. I do like the card system. That's more so just because I like games like that in general, especially when it's something that I really like that's attached to it. That gives me even more of an incentive to play. I understand how the card system could have turned a lot of people off, but it's just more so for me specifically. At the end of the day, it can be a card system, it can be turn based, it can be. I'm not gonna say puzzle game because that's reaching a little bit.
Yeah.
As long as I can sit down and I can get something out of the game, whether it be content or just enjoyment or like literally Fall Guys or Fortnite. Whenever I'm finishing the video and I'm waiting for it to render, or I'm just sitting back doing nothing, listening to music, I just pop that on, go brain dead for like 30 minutes or an hour or so, and just sit back, relax, and play. As long as I can get something, as long as I can get something positive from it, then I'll enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, were you expecting Midnight Suns to be in the style of turn-based instead of the straightforward action that we're used to getting from other games?
Well, I mean, as soon as I saw the studio that was making it, then I knew what to expect. I knew about it a little bit before it came out, before it was even announced, actually. So I knew my first exposure to it was before it leaked, before anybody knew about it. So I knew from the get-go what it was, and so I saw a lot of the character art and whatnot. So I don't have the same reaction, I guess, as a lot of other people. It was always that to me, and I understand why people are a little, taken aback by it, because it's different. And I think that's good, though. I mean, I think in a lot of ways, like, listen, would I like for it to be a straight-up game like everything else, like Avengers style, but like this? Yeah, absolutely. I'd probably rather that, too. But this is a studio that is known for their type of game, and they're getting an opportunity to make a Marvel game, tell a Marvel story in their type of game. And I think that's actually pretty cool, too. So I'm definitely looking forward to giving it a chance and seeing what happens.
I'm not gonna say that sometimes a change of pace is necessary, but
Yeah,
change of pace can be good for you if you're willing to take it.
I understand we all love these characters and we all want to be a part of it, but not everything is going to be for you. You know what I mean? Like they make games for other people, and there is a very big audience for this style game.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully other people can try it out and understand that and appreciate it and learn to like it. And that's I think what they're going for, because it's not just a matter of like, all right, well, hey, I love Midnight Suns, maybe I'll check out XCOM, and then that next XCOM comes out, and there's a whole new audience. I mean, there's a lot to be said about what they're doing. So I don't know. Is it the type of game that if it wasn't Marvel on the name, would I be as excited for it? No, I wouldn't be. But it is a Marvel game, and I love Marvel games, so we're gonna give it a go and give it our best try and see what happens. I'm sure we're gonna love it.
Could not have said it better myself. So, Jay, as I'm sure you know, we are about to enter what I would like to call the golden age of comic book gaming. How excited are you for the next 3 to 4 years, and what are you looking forward to the most? Because again, going back to everything that we currently have so far, we got the 3 games this year, and then so on and so forth.
I'm thrilled. I mean, the games just keep getting better. They keep doing more. I would love to see somebody make a pure Thor game. That would be amazing. Like that, I think one of the reasons why I love Avengers so much is because I think Thor is the best character they made. And I think, like, as just a Thor game, I love it. Like, I love playing as Thor in that game. Yeah. So I would love that, and I'm looking forward to all that with all these other games, I mean, I think I'm actually surprisingly the most excited for the Wolverine and Wonder Woman game. Mm-hmm. And there was a Wolverine game before, and it was decent.
X-Men Origins Wolverine. Popular opinion about that game was that it was the story was definitely better than the movie, but that was because the game dove into some deeper parts of the lore. Like for example, because that's connected to the other X-Men movies, it gave us an answer to who Nightcrawler's parents were, which were Mystique and John.
Right. Yeah, and that was a cool game, but like I'm looking forward to like this really traditional AAA fleshed out Wolverine game with all the new toys that they can work with,
all the bells.
So I mean, we've had so many Spider-Man games. We know what that's going to be. Amazing, nothing short of amazing. Obviously, I'm excited for that. But like the Wonder Woman game, like I've thought that Wonder Woman deserved a game for so long, and I think she's got like so many actions that she can take that are going to make it like really really interesting. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And then in Wolverine, I think those are the two at the moment I'm most hyped for. But yeah, I'd love another Guardians game. Like the games, the Marvel games, the DC games right now are just so good. Obviously Gotham Knights I think is the next one, and I'm super hyped for that. Who are you maining? I'm maining Red Hood.
Batgirl.
Okay.
I'm
very good.
The only Batgirl I've seen. The only person I've seen.
She's probably third on my list. It's Red Hood, Nightwing, Batgirl, then Robin for me.
Robin would probably be second, and that's just specifically because I do like both. In terms of like favorite melee weapons, a bow staff would probably be my favorite, and a bow and arrow would probably be my favorite range type of weapon.
I love Red Hood. He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of the Wonder Woman game, because I definitely can say this, I know that I've myself done a couple of videos on it. Like I just recently did one breaking down the Nemesis system and everything. If you love the Middle-earth series, so like Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, then I would say you're definitely gonna love Wonder Woman, because they're taking the Nemesis system isn't just something that's specific to that game. It's pretty much like an entire game engine in itself that's being adapted into Wonder Woman. That's going to just make that entire experience more enjoyable, because it's kind of like the difference between that and Avengers, where Avengers, like, you know what you're getting into every single time you load in with Wonder Woman, with the
Right.
with the Nemesis system, everything is randomized. So the moment you
Right.
load in, within like your first 3 minutes of playing, let's say somebody that you killed on stream yesterday has now somehow been brought back to life, now has a grudge and is now trying to kill you. Like, it's like the bosses, the actions, the interactions, the conversations is all randomized. Like,
Nice.
unless it's part of the main story, it's randomized for a reason, and that's what's beautiful about that system. That's why I'm very excited for that game.
Yeah, same. Absolutely. It sounds awesome.
So now we're gonna go ahead and get a little personal, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
So in the past, you spoke on how you weren't really all that happy with your channel's progress, stating how to others and people like myself, the numbers that you did will look good to us regardless. Why exactly do you feel that way, so to say?
I mean, my traffic has definitely declined, and I think a lot of that has to do with there not being any new Lego game since like 2019. Or maybe it's been a while, all right, and so for me, it's frustrating to feel like I'm doing the things that I'm doing. I'm gaining more subscribers, but the traffic is just slowly deteriorating, and I know a lot of that has to do with how YouTube works. The inner workings of it. They don't like the fact that, today I can play Avengers and tomorrow Fortnite, and then, the next day Apex Legends. They don't like that. They want to put you in a box and compartmentalize you. They want everything to be consistent. And I've worked with some friends, and we've done some little research here and there, where we found that, one of my friends did not interact with any of my videos, and it took 3 days for him to stop being offered them. Like, it's just crazy. YouTube are the classic, we want to be the smartest ones in the room type of people, and they want to tell you what you want to watch. The fact that you click the like button or the subscribe button and the bell and the other bell, like all these hoops they make you put through, does not matter to them. The only thing that matters is what their algorithm says you actually like. And that's what frustrates me so much. And I just feel like when I click a subscribe button or a join, become a member button, and I click a bell, 100% of the time that creator posts something, YouTube should tell me about it. Whether it's a notification I asked for, or whether it's when I open up my feed and it's one of the first videos that's offered to me. That's how it should work, because we already told you what we want to see. You don't need to guess for us. I loaded up YouTube the other day and I tweeted this. I don't know if you saw it, but like 100%, I scrolled from the top to the bottom of my main page. There was not a single video from a person I followed. Not even like a random Sadat the Gamer video, all right? Nothing. Not one video, but I had 6 Sniper Wolf videos. I have never watched a single Sniper Wolf video in my life. I had at least as many Mr. Beast videos from all of his channels, by the way. Not just the Mr. Beast Gaming, but there was like 3 different Mr. Beast channels in there. I have this bar that's the second thing that I see, which is nothing but COVID news. I close it every time. Why doesn't your algorithm know that I X out of that every time and just leave it gone? I don't care. So that's my problem with YouTube as it exists today, because it never used to be that way. Like, in the golden era of YouTube is like 2013 to like 2017. That is when YouTube was working as intended. It was beautiful. People got their notifications. People saw your videos. It rewarded people for just being creative and doing what they wanted to do. Now they think, again, that they're just the smartest people in the room, and we know what you want to watch. We'll let you know, and we're going to offer it to you. And I don't believe they're doing that. So I just, it's frustrating for me, somebody who I hate it when people show up on my stream and is like, oh man, I forgot about you because they haven't been giving me your videos. And it's like, you've been subscribed for 6 years and YouTube just said, oh, hey, you don't want to watch them anymore because, maybe I played Horizon or something. I don't know. Random game that's on my Twitter feed. Maybe I just played Horizon and you weren't into it. So you just wanted to circle back when I played the next game. it shouldn't work that way. Like, until I click unsubscribe, keep offering me the person's videos. That's how I feel.
YouTube algorithm is doo-doo. It's doo-doo.
It really is. Like, it really and truly is.
So, you've been at this for 10 to 11 years now. Well, on YouTube. Not because like I know you've been in this for a lot longer than that, but YouTube is 10 to 11.
I know what you mean.
You're an OG. You've seen and experienced things that smaller creators like myself either haven't gone through or are currently dealing with. What would you say to kind of help, the newcomers, the youngins, understand a bit more about the highs and lows that comes with being a creator, like constantly stressing out about their views or constantly comparing themselves to their peers in the communities that they're in that are doing better than them?
The best advice I can give anybody is just make sure you're having fun. You should not get into this because you think you're going to get famous, because you're going to make a lot of money, because you're going to get a lot of views, because you're probably not going to. And that has nothing to do with you as a creator. It has everything to do with all the limitations that are going to be put in front of you, and especially to do with all the competition, that you're going to face. And that's just the way it is. And it's even for someone like me, what I'm facing, because when I was making Lego Marvel videos, I did not have as much competition as I did when I started making Lego Marvel's Avengers and then Lego Marvel 2. Like, more people want to do this now than ever. It's literally probably the number one most wanted career by every, sixth grader in America, if not the world. All right. So the number one thing you have to make sure you're doing is being real and having fun with what you're doing, because people are going to see that. And, there are some really great creators that never get noticed, and it's not their fault. And there's some really terrible creators that get ahead for all the wrong reasons. It's just, you can't predict it. You can't control it to an extent. So, for me, it becomes more stressful because I rely on it, I thought, I had a full-time job. I worked for Bose. They make the headphones and all sorts of stuff like that. And I was happy there. And then I got laid off. And I was probably at my height of money making on YouTube. I was still working at Bose, and I'd still be working there today if I didn't get laid off. They sent my job.
And it froze. Yeah, we cool.
All right, cool. But yeah, I would still be working there today, honestly, if I was not laid off. And it's just, I had fun doing what I was doing, and that's why I did it, And I think once you get to that point, it's going to resonate with people. People are going to see, this guy knows what he's doing. People do not watch me because I'm good at Avengers, okay? They don't. I know that, all right? They watch me because I'm fun and I'm personable, and I talk to you, and I have a conversation, and we all nerd out over Avengers stuff. Like, You come ask me what my build is, I'm like, I don't know, nerd. I just put on the best piece of gear that looks good to me. Here's a creator that I think makes good builds. They could maybe help you a little bit better. People watch me because I try to include them. I try to make them part of it. That's what they want. They want to be included, be part of it, and just to know that you're having fun. So just be real, and that's the best thing you can do. And if it resonates, and it hopefully will, but it might not, then it's just going to happen naturally. And you can't stress about the stuff you can't control, because YouTube putting you out there or Twitch putting you out there, you can't count on that. No matter how good your content is, no matter how good your thumbnails are, there's always something. So just make sure you're enjoying it. That's the best advice I can give.
Pretty solid. So
I hope that's what you were looking for.
Oh no, that was more than enough. Trust me. I am very happy with the answer I've gotten today.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that want, they want some edge. They want to know some secret and some tip, and there's not one. Because, for better or worse, there's a lot of creators that are just going to get ahead because they're prettier than you, or they're like smarter than you, or they're like more tech savvy than you, or a combination of all three, which is even worse. Like nobody watches me for my pretty face, maybe except for my wife. But, there are those people that are going to have those advantages, but you can't control that. So just do what you can that you can control, which is enjoy what you're doing. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, people are going to see it. And, I stress about views too, but at a certain point, you can't do anything about that, and you're just going to be adding unnecessary stress. And I know it's easy for me to say because like I've seen a lot, but it's actually harder for me to say because I used to be able to put out a video and have 10,000 views the first day. And I can't do that anymore. I haven't been able to do that anymore. I did not have a 1 million view video last year, and it's frustrating. That's, I think, the first year I didn't have one. So like in a long time anyway, but that's just, you just got to control what you can control and just go from there.
Okay. That was perfect. That was pretty good. So, 2022, new year, new you. Suicide Squad, Gotham Knights, Midnight Suns, Cold Sword, Skywalker Saga. What can we expect from Jay? Wait, can you hear me good enough?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah. So, what can we expect from JayShockBlast going forward this year?
We're just gonna have fun, man. We're gonna play all the comic book games, all the Star Wars games. If I think it's gonna be a fun game, I'm gonna play it. I get emails every day asking me if I want to play this game or that game, and I decline most of them because I just don't. I'm not gonna play a game to fake it, like just to play it. And I get offered all sorts of stuff all the time, and I really just want to focus on the games that I enjoy and the games that I think I can do justice. And all those games you mentioned are going to be huge for me. When Lego Star Wars comes out, it's going to be wall-to-wall Lego Star Wars. Like I'm going to get at least 500 videos out of that game in the first 6 months. No doubt about it. Like you'll have an unlock video for every character. You're going to have tier lists and, favorite lists and, levels and streams. I'm going to play it on one platform and stream it on the other one. Might even go play it on Nintendo Switch too. So you're going to get a lot of that. I can tell you that. And KOTOR, once that comes out, I don't even know if that's going to be this year, but once that comes out, that's going to be it, Yeah. But like lots of Gotham Knights, lots of Midnight Suns. I work really closely with WB Games too. So I'm always going to give their games a chance as well. So you'll see lots of that as well. I want to do Horizon. I need to go back and finish the first one. Same with God of War, because like I got to like a certain point, and then I like started playing something else. Yeah. And then I forgot to go back. Those two games and The Witcher 3 are the three games that like something happened where I didn't progress. And by the time I went back, I just forgot how to play, forgot where I was, and I didn't want to start over. But I still want to finish. So, yeah.
Okay. And side question, going back to, you talking about the games that you've been offered. At any point, was there ever an offer for you to play Raid Shadow Legends?
Yes. Many times. I've never done it, no. I'm above that. I'm not above much, but I'm above Raid Shadow Legends. Like, and no offense to all the people that took that deal. I was like, no, I'm not doing this.
Understandable.
Yeah, that email happened quite often.
Okay. So, as this all comes to a close, Mr. JayShockBlast, is there anything you would like to say or address before we let all of the fine folks watching this video get back to their daily lives?
Well, first of all, Iron Man is trash. I would just like to say thank you for having me on. This was a lot of fun. I am just a guy like everybody else. I never, you didn't hesitate to ask me to do this, and I just said yes. Like, I love doing stuff like this. I love helping other creators as best I can. I don't know all the answers. I just love having fun, and I'm not like the type of person that's going to go out of my way to like say, hey, do you want to do this with me? I'll put out like an open question. Hey, who wants to do this with me? you know, and I'm just gonna like grab people, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
when I love all the people that I've met through this whole process, you know, because I feel like I was kind of on the outside, and maybe it's because people didn't think I was approachable because they look at YouTube and it says I have a lot of subscribers, but
Yeah.
like I'm so easygoing and I just love interacting with people, you know, and you can't see my hand motions I'm making, but like you know, it's just like that's who I am. You know, I just like to have fun playing video games. So I hope that resonates with people. And I really have just enjoyed getting to know, you know, all the different people, including Mr. Ski Mask here.
Yeah, because I would like to say like that definitely was, I want to say, like a concern for me, so to say, because but it's not just your child. I have looked at other channels before and I saw the numbers and I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to get in contact with this person or like if they'll even be willing to say yes. It got to a point into where is I'll still ask regardless. Now, I've had people say yes. Clearly, I've had people say no. I've had people who would respond with, you know, just a message asking like what it is, like what it's about, what do you want to do, and then just not getting any response back.
Yeah.
The worst that can happen is they say no.
Yeah. And that's not really that big of a deal. On to the next one. You know what I mean? You find out who the real ones are too. Like, listen, I don't, this was an hour out of my day, you know, not a big deal, but it seems like it was a big deal for you. So of course I'm going to do it. And you know, you and I don't know each other super well,
Yeah.
but like I do feel like we've interacted a little bit, and you know, I felt comfortable enough. I see the other people that know you, and I'm like, all right, yeah, cool, let's do it. You know, but like I, as long as I do feel like it's fair to have the question of, well, what do you have in mind? You know, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
You know, just have a general idea of what's going to happen. But like, I mean, I've done interviews with way smaller creators, like, you know, that were just fans basically, and I was just doing it because, like, I don't know, what's it to me? You know, like, I'm just having a good conversation with somebody, and if it helps them, then great. You know, like, and that's kind of what happened with like Doomkiller, for example. I had no idea who Doomkiller was, and
Yeah.
he asked me to do it, and I said sure, and I did it, and then like, wow, this is a lot of fun. I want to do this more, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's just, you know, just shoot your shot, and I would say just I thought you were very respectful in the way you asked, and you know, I really just, it was easy for me to say yes. So just keep doing what you're doing, and you know, maybe some people won't say no, you know, won't do it, but don't get discouraged by that. Just on to the next one.
Jay finna make me cry in here. You have to end the video. He's gonna make me cry. But okay. Yeah, that wraps up the interview. I think you just about closed in on Miller for like the longest interview
Oh wow.
that I've had. I'm not
Well,
sure. I have to go back and double check.
that man can talk too, so you know, I'm okay
Yes.
with it.
Yeah, yes again. But again, Jay, thank you
Of
very much
course.
so for
Thank you for
coming
having me. It
on.
was honestly a pleasure. I mean, and you did your homework, so like, it's cool for me to be like, to listen and know that this wasn't just something that you threw together with a bunch of random questions. You know, like I think what's really the valuable thing you could take, you know, from me is to say the way that you approached it was perfect. And if you do that for everybody, it's going to feel very personal to them, and you'll get to do more of these.
Thank you. You do not know how much I appreciate that.
Awesome.
So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and let you guys go. There will be a link to Jay's channel down in the description below, so make sure you guys go and check him out. And for here, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so that you won't miss out on any videos, and hit the bell so that you will be notified every time a new one gets posted. Because as we've said earlier, the YouTube algorithm is trash. It doesn't like to tell you whenever we upload.
All right.
So, we will see you guys in the moonlight. Peace.